Okay guys, local biz alpha Xtreme. I've been waiting, actually holding back for 3 or 4 days to do a video because I was hoping we would have a hosting script ready by now, but it's not ready yet, and I thought I'd better get a video done and email it to you. In the meantime, we should have a hosting script ready in about 2 or 3 days. Okay, that's what I've been told, but often when we get told that, that kind of thing by coders, it can be different. Okay, they can run into problems that they didn't expect, etc. So we just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, I'm doing this video so that everybody can understand what we're doing, what we're working on, so that we can make the tool work as good as it possibly can be and as it should be. Okay, now the updates that we are working on right now are not the final updates. We've still got other things to do with this particular tool. Once we get over this particular set of updates that we want to introduce over the next week, then we've got some other stuff that I want to introduce to the tool to make it even better. Okay, so just bear with us, stick with us. I know it's been a little bit of a long wait, but often when we're building this kind of a tool, we don't know what we don't know until we've actually built it and see what happens. Okay, and that's the kind of situation that's actually happened here, because we had no idea that we would, when we started to create local biz alpha, that we were going to be able to click a button and create a website with 90,000 to 200,000 pages. Okay, I had no idea we would be going on that path at that particular time. But after we have done the original local biz alpha, I just felt it was too slow. It was too cumbersome to go and create campaign after campaign after campaign. And so that when we introduced the Xtreme version that did the bulk campaigning in one click, then it gave us a possibility that we really could do a lot of pages very, very easily with that one initial click. So as an example, let me just pull this over here. There we go. Okay, so what you can see here is I've got some city lists. Okay, so New York, California, Florida. Okay, there's a couple of websites here, this areavibes.com. You can go and get these lists yourself if you want to. I will probably get one of my assistants, or find an assistant to go and fill this up with different locations that you can just copy from me if you want to. Okay, so for example, let's say California. Okay, say I wanted to run a campaign in California. And I come down, and you can see here I've got like 1,524 cities in California. You see here 1,524 cities. Now if we can do up to 60 businesses per city, okay, and we've got 1,524 cities times 60, that gives us 91,000 business pages that we can do, and plus we have got that other 1,500 parent pages. Okay, so you can see that it's not that hard to go and create like a lot of pages on a website, on these websites, and it's going to take up resources, both in terms of the images that are being downloaded and put into your website, and also from the Google Maps API key. The data is being used up, and so they're going to charge you for that as well. So what we needed to do is come up with this solution, because the amount of resources being used from those images being downloaded and put in your server was crashing some websites on some basic hosting like HostGator, Bluehost, etc. And it happened to me as well. I thought we could do it and we couldn't do it. Okay, so we had to look for a solution that is better if you want to use a full site the way that we originally intended this to be used. And secondly, we had to come up with a solution that we can minimize the data being used from Google Maps API key. Okay, so let me explain what we have done. And I'm just going to click over here in the settings. Okay, so you can see we have this new section here called listing settings. Right, now the listing settings gives us a couple of options, and this is going to give us the ability that we control how much data is being used from your Google Maps API key, and also how much resource is going to be used from your server. Okay, so this little update that we've got here that actually took quite a long time to get coded, it provides the solutions that we need, but we have got some additional solutions coming as well that we can take things even further with. I'll explain that once I go through these here. Okay, so the listing settings, you can see we've got images and we've got maps. So let me tell you about the images in a second. Maps is kind of self-explanatory here. You can either show maps or do not show maps. That will of course save on resources being used from your Google Maps API, from the data being used. I do not recommend that you do not show maps. I think we should be showing maps for local biz alpha sites, okay? So what we have done is 4 different options here for images. Okay, so we've got the default, which is the way it is right now, the way it has been up till now, okay, which is pulling the images from Google, saving it to the server, and you can see here my coder has put in here a comment, consumes a good amount of storage space. Okay, so he has done some calculations about how much storage space it's taken. I haven't got those figures in front of me right now. We will put them into the member area. We will put them into the hosting script that we have got once we have got that built, which I'm going to explain in a minute what that is. Okay, so I would not use this right now if you are doing some websites where you've got them hosted on somewhere like a HostGator or Bluehost, okay? Because the amount of resources being used is just too high, okay? We've tried it ourselves. We didn't know what we didn't know. We didn't know that it was going to take up so much space. In fact, I didn't even realize when we created LocalBiz Alpha Xtreme version that we could, at the click of a button, go and create hundreds of thousands of pages. I had no idea, okay? I just thought it's cumbersome the way it was, and let's automate this even more, without really giving it too much thought. At that time, we were only creating 20 pages per city or per location at the time as well, and the coder added up to 60, so that tripled the amount of resources being used as well. But anyway, we are where we are right now. We are trying to resolve the issues, and we've got some good resolutions here right now. So this second option is a very, very, very good option in my opinion. Hyperlink images. What this means is going to contain a link to the image from the actual Google Maps. Okay, now that image is not stored on your server. That image will only appear when somebody clicks on a URL on your website. Okay, so if they click on a specific business in a specific city or location, then the image will appear because it's hyperlinked. Okay, so it's not going to take up resources on your server, and it's not going to take up a lot of Google API data, okay, because it's only being pulled in via hyperlink, and it's only being pulled in as well when that particular URL is requested from a user for a specific business page. Okay, so that is a very, very good option if you are using sort of reseller hosting or cheaper hosting like Bluehost or HostGator, for example. Okay, this is a very good option to use. This will save you both on the data and resources for the size of your website. Okay, it's a very, very good solution. This third solution here needs a little bit of explaining. So you can see here it says rotate up to 100 images. That allows us to add 100 images that we're going to rotate between every individual page. That means that these need to be generic images. Okay, so say for example I was doing a website about dentists. Okay, I would need to have individual images, generic images about dentists, maybe a dentist treating a customer, a dentist office from the inside, some dental equipment, etc. They would be generic sort of niche images, and it would mean that every single page up to 100 would have a unique image. When it gets to page 101, it's going to go back to image number 1. Okay, that's the way this one works. That means we are using some images on your website that is going to be instantly loadable, but it's going to be generic images and not images of that particular business. It's a third option if you want to use it, and it's entirely up to you. What we are also going to be adding in here is the ability to add video as well. Okay, and we can just do the search for both image and for video within the tool itself, so that you can choose as many images as you can find that are suitable for your website. And you have a combination of multimedia on every page with some videos as well. So you can choose via searching via this tool, via LocalBiz Alpha, for videos that are suitable for your particular niche that you can pull in, and it will rotate every single page will be a different image and a different video. That means that we've got more multimedia pages with unique multimedia content being created on every single page. Okay, so that's the third option. It's not a bad option if you want to use just for testing on a particular niche. Okay, that's what I would use this for testing. Okay, the second option here, the hyperlinked image option, is going to be more accurate for providing an image of the correct business instead of a generic image. Okay, and this is going to be saving you money. If you want to stick with the default, then what you can do is, what I suggest you do is use a very, very good hosting, okay, which I'm going to explain to you in just a second, so that you can expand your website as you grow the size of your website. That means every single time you create a campaign, if it's got like 90,000, 100,000 pages, then it's going to take a fair amount of resources because it's pulling in those images, okay, and that happens as well for the Google Maps API data being used as well. Okay, so it's going to cost more money there as well. But as I said, you do not need to use that option when we now have the hyperlink image option. Okay, so what is the hosting script that we're working on? Okay, let me just show you inside my account of DigitalOcean. Okay, DigitalOcean is like a hosting service. Okay, when we scroll down here, you can see that they have got different options for data center regions. That's great if you want to build a private blog network. We don't need to use that particular feature for local biz alpha websites. Okay, I have got another solution that we're building into the website script where we can use Cloudflare to be able to change the IPs for people who want to have that variety of different IP without having to actually take an extra sort of data center region, which costs extra money when using DigitalOcean. Okay, so what you can see here with the pricing is that it starts from $5 per month from DigitalOcean. Now, why do we want to use hosting like DigitalOcean? Well, partly because it gives us the ability to be able to choose different packages according to how many websites you got, according to how many resources being used, and also it can auto expand, so your website never looks odd, it never crashes. Okay, if you are using the default option of downloading the images from the Google Maps API, uploading them into your server, then a lot of resources are being used for your server. Okay, DigitalOcean can expand for you. Okay, it's going to cost you more, but they can automatically expand so that it can handle whatever you're telling it, the hosting to handle. Okay, according to the usage that you're using. Okay, so that is a good option if you want to keep the default. Secondly, is you can see these different packages here according to 4 gigabyte CPU and 80 gigabyte SSD disk and 4 gigabyte transfer, etc. One of these you should be able to host multiple sites with the option with hyperlink. Okay, I don't know for sure how many websites for each of these packages, but we will have a guide when this script is done. Okay, now when we have the script done for the purpose of using with DigitalOcean, what we will also do is we will put in there the ability to track the websites where you have got local biz alpha installed. This will allow you as well to delete some sites. So say for example you've got a 50 site license and you've got local biz alpha installed on 10 sites and you've got 2 sites that are not doing much good for you. You can delete those from your license count within this hosting script that we are doing. Okay, so think about it like it's not just a hosting script, it's like a membership area. Okay, and we can expand it out a little bit more once we've got that original part done where we're working with DigitalOcean. Okay, now it could be that we might be able to update all the plugins for all of your websites in one click from there as well. I don't know yet, but those are the kind of plans that I would like to put into place once we have got this original part done, where we can manage our websites, where we can manage our licenses, where we can manage the resources being used on our websites, and where we can manage with a very, very good quality hosting that isn't too expensive, okay, so that we can build these sites properly, and we can expect that they will not get distorted in any way because of the resources being used, okay. So we have got that extra security of the hosting being able to expand according to your needs automatically, okay. It's called elastic hosting or something like that, elastic resources or something they call it, so that it just automatically expands, and that means your websites will always look good, which is what we need for these kind of sites, okay. So with that ability to be able to go and add and delete the licenses for the different websites as well, that gives us the ability that we can do more with strategy as well, because it means that we can go into different niches, okay. We can do some very, very quick testing by just doing some basic options here. So for example, you might not want to include images, or you might not want to include maps, for the purpose of doing some quick niche testing. So you might want to do some kind of obscure kind of local business niche, just to see if you can get rankings and just to see if it gets traffic. And you might want to minimize the amount of resources being used, maybe for maps or image. And then if you see it's working, you're getting traffic, that you're getting rankings, you can rebuild the site very quickly, very easily, okay. So from that hosting script that we're building, or that membership area script that will include the hosting stuff in there, we will be able to do so much more. It gives us more options, because what we can do then is, from there we can tell the software to rebuild the site with hyperlinked images, for example. That's the kind of thing that we want to be able to do. So this has given us much more flexibility for the SEO strategy, for the traffic strategies as well. So you can see it's got multiple benefits, okay? And this is going to be really beneficial. Now there's one more thing that I do want to sort of bring your attention to as well. That is, if you've already got LocalBiz Alpha installed on, say, 10 sites, and you have purchased the 50 site license, what we will do is we will give you those 10 site license free. So we will just make your license count 60, okay. That means those 10 site licenses that you have used, they are not going to be used against your 50 site license, okay. Those you can keep free, because we had no idea the trouble we were going to run into when we built such a beast of a tool, okay. Now it's not a perfect solution for you, because we've been a little bit delayed on, quite a lot delayed on, what we can actually do with LocalBiz Alpha. It's been frustrating for all of us, but I'm kind of limited what we can do with the progress according to the solutions that my coder can come up with, okay. And now that we have got the solutions, and I can see the way forward with it, and I can see the possibilities with this hosting solution that we've got with the script. You still need to use your own DigitalOcean account within there, okay, but it's given us that flexibility that we can do extra things as well, like I've just explained, the possibility of updating all of your plugins with one click within that system, the management of your website licenses, okay, the ability to go and test different strategies where you can use minimum resources for images and maps just to see if you can get rankings. It's almost like keyword poking on a niche level for local businesses with local directory sites. That is a great option for us to be able to add. Okay, so you can see that can get very exciting very quickly by having that script. So once we've got that script, then we can kick on again. We can do things with the group project as we had planned, okay, because we have got the solutions that we needed, okay. So that's going to be that we can build the websites with minimum resources, with minimum costs, with a central dashboard system where we can manage our site licenses, where we can update our plugins, hopefully he can do that, where we can update our themes for all of the sites on one click, where we can do some SEO and traffic testing by doing one-click installs for websites using the plugin just by adding your domain, okay, if you're using a Namecheap API and stuff like that. we will have all of that hopefully to come, okay, and the first part of that is going to be hopefully this week, okay, unless he runs into extra obstacles. But in the meantime, what we have added in here is very, very good options for existing hosting that you have got, okay, and we will replenish your website licenses. So if you've got it already on 10 sites or even on 20 sites, that's fine. We will just give you those 20 or 10 free, okay. So we will make sure that we add whatever you paid for on top of what you've already installed. So if you've installed it on 20 and you bought a 50 site license, you will have 70 sites to use, okay. That way you don't have to take anything away, you don't have to rebuild those sites. You can if you want to, you can delete them if you want to, you will still have those extra 20 on top of your 50 as well, okay. That's it guys, thanks.